Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and the Prime Minister of Saint Lucia, Phillip Pierre, signed agreements in Caracas where they ratified the principle of self-determination of the peoples of the region. In Barbados, local government representatives and the ambassador of Cuba and Guyana congregate to remember the terrorist attack against Cuban Airlines Flight 455 and the first anniversary of the Caracas Cuba Date against terrorism. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a military court sentenced MP to death for the treason and involvement with the M23 rebel movement. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll be with the news. Stay with us. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and the Prime Minister of Saint Lucia, Phillip Pierre, signed agreements in Caracas where they ratified the principles of self-determination on the peoples of the region. Through a dialogue that reaffirms the will to strengthen bilateral relations, President Maduro received this Friday the Premier of Saint Lucia, who pays his first official visit to Venezuela. During the meeting, the two leaders agreed on a roadmap to strengthen bilateral cooperation, sign an air service agreement, and a joint declaration, besides reinforcing the shared benefits for the development of both nations. The Venezuelan president reaffirmed that the signing of the joint declaration will also serve to establish Latin America and the Caribbean as a territory of peace, solidarity, and cooperation.
The Prime Minister of Saint Lucia and Nicolás Maduro Moros, President of Venezuela, have signed the joint declaration where we ratify the principles of self-determination of the peoples of Latin America and the Caribbean as territories of peace, the principles of cooperation, solidarity, brotherhood, mutual benefit, progressive and upward development of relations, the founding principles of our people.
For his part, the Premier of Saint Lucia, Phillip Pierre, demanded the lifting of the unilateral sanctions imposed against Venezuela.
We consider that any sanction applied to a country because of its political system is unfair. We also think that sanctions are very painful for countries. And as we have requested on several occasions, we have demanded the lifting of the sanctions applied to the people of Venezuela.
On the other hand, the Saint Lucian Premier reaffirmed Caracas' support to Venezuela in order to turn the region into a territory of peace.
CARICOM stands firmly behind Venezuela, and CARICOM wants our area to be a zone of peace. That is a policy shared by all CARICOM heads of state. As we strengthen our friendship, we hope, Mr. President, that you will continue to develop your nation as you have done so far, and we want to further strengthen the relations that unite us.
In Brazil, 3 doctors were killed and a 4th was injured after a gunman opened fire at them in Rio de Janeiro. The attack happened when the doctors were at a beach city eastern in the Barra da Tijuca neighborhood. The doctors were all from Sao Paulo and had traveled to Rio de Janeiro to attend an international orthopedic congress. Authorities informed that the hit was a case of mistaken identity, with one of the targets confused for a son of a local militia group. The president of Peru, Dina Boluarte, announced on Thursday that she will extend the state of emergency to the historical center of Lima to fight crime. The president's announcement followed the declaration of a state of emergency in the populous district of San Juan de Luri, Gancho, and San Martin de Porres, also in Lima, as well as in several districts of the northern city of Sullana, where she says that this disarmament plan has been put into place against organized crime mafias.
We'll make longer the state of emergency for the domestic order in a cordon of alignment to back our neighbors, those entrepreneurs investing in small business, and to provide security on thousands of tourists visiting our historical center daily. Mr. Lima Mayor already has the enacted act to crack down on crime in his jurisdiction. So count on our government support alongside the National Police and the Army Force.
Let's take a very short break, but remember you can now join us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. On Friday in Barbados, the local government representative and the ambassador of Cuba and Guyana congregate to remember the terrorist attack against Cuban Airlines Flight 455 and the first anniversary of the CARICOM Cuba's aid against terrorism. On the 47th anniversary of the terrorist attack, the Caribbean community recalled the 73 victims of the terrorist attack committed in 1976 off the coast of Barbados and reject any act of terrorism. Chantal Onunawu, representative of the CARICOM Secretariat, stressed the importance of standing together in the context of the adversities facing the region.
In the face of such challenges, it is paramount that we stand united. The bonds that connect us must remain a commitment etched in our collective consciousness. Intra-regional collaboration is not just a necessity. It is our duty to forge a shield against forces that threaten our safety and security. Let us therefore regard today as a call to action as we aspire to preserve the Caribbean as a zone of peace.
Geneva Rose Tyndall, Council of Guyana, used the occasion to express solidarity with the Cuban people and commemorate the terrorist attack committed in Barbados against the Cuban Revolution in 1976.
With the government and people of Cuba, with whom we share close and cordial ties. On this solemn occasion, we remember October 6, 1976, as a dark chapter in the history of international aviation and the history of this hemisphere.
The government of Cuba expressed on Friday its concern for the sending of foreign troops to Haiti. The measure that was approved by the Security Council of the United Nations Organization due to the insecurity of the political, social, and economic instability of the Caribbean nation. In a message diffused by the Chancellery, Havana considered that the focus of Haiti should be centered on international cooperation to support it with more financial resources, reconstruction, and sustainable development. The message highlights the enormous moral debt which the international community has with the Caribbean nation in need of more financial resources for its development. The government of Mexico on Friday rejected the intention of the United States to expand a border wall as a measure that does not respond to solve the migratory crisis. Prime Minister Alicia Bárcena stated that Mexico categorically rejects the idea of having walls and also rejects the bayous and water fence installed by the U.S. government on the Rio Bravo. In this sense, the official described the dialogues of the last few days on the immigration issue as successful. In San Lorenzo Valles, southern Honduras, you can find a culinary secret that lights the senses of locals and visitors alike. This picturesque coastal town seafood has acquired a legendary reputation, considered not only the most delicious in the country, but also of all Central America. Karim Duarte has more details in the following report.
San Lorenzo's geographic location, embraced by the Gulf of Fonseca and the Pacific Ocean, plays a fundamental role in the excellence of its seafood. The warm, nutrient-rich waters of this region create an ideal environment for the proliferation of a variety of marine species, from juicy shrimp to fresh fish. Local fishermen have perfected their techniques over generations, ensuring the freshness and quality of the products that reach the tables.
We have breaded fish and breaded shrimps, which is what attracts people's attention the most. The little slices, because here we also enjoy the slices, right? In the area where there are banana plantations, so the shrimps you will taste here are the most delicious shrimps in the country, because they are raised in the Pacific Ocean. After all, it is a sea that has volcanic minerals, and therefore the flavors will never compare to the tastes of the south to the north coast. It is not underestimates our fellow locals, but the south has those flavors that people love.
In the southern zone of Honduras, seafood is the jewel of the Pacific, a symphony of flavors and freshness that transports the senses to a unique marine paradise in the region, where every bite is an ode to gastronomic excellence.
The gastronomy of the south of Honduras is exquisite, and it is special that there are many people who regionally comment that the best fish that you can find, not only in the country but in the entire Central American region, especially in the Northern Triangle. You will find it in the south of Honduras, and not only the fish but different seafood. We have a spectacular offer in gastronomy in the southern zone, and not only gastronomy, there are so many activities tourists can do, can learn, but to be honest, whoever tastes the gastronomy of the south of Honduras will fall in love.
The passion for seafood is reflected in the diversity of dishes offered by local restaurants, such as Curiles, which are unique in the area.
The best seafood we can say is here in the southern part of the country. We find some seafood unique to this area, such as the curiles. This is a delicious dish, something that we all hope to come here to try and to be able to add the Worcestershire sauce, the lemon, salt, tomato sauce, those things that we as Hondurans have to enjoy because our gastronomy is exquisite. The shrimps. Here we have shrimps from tiny to some jumbo that one says that is something I have not seen, and the fish that we can find.
San Lorenzo Valle is a true seafood paradise in Central America, where the magic of its geographic location, rich culinary heritage, and commitment to sustainability come together to offer the most delicious and freshest seafood to delight diners. This coastal spot is a reminder of how passion for cooking and environmental responsibility can converge to create unique and sustainable culinary experiences.
Para Telesur Honduras, Karim Duarte.
The Swedish government subjects sending new military assistance to Ukraine to its join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. The Swedish armed forces are studying the possibility and consequences of a possible deployment of their Gripen fighters to Ukraine, but the assumption is that Stockholm will be a NATO member in order to send such a supply. The equipment is worth more than 2 billion Swedish kronor, equivalent to about $198 billion, consisting of ammunition and spare parts for previously donated military equipment. The government of Hungary rejected European Union budget amendments proposed by the European Commission to provide money for Ukraine. Prime Minister Viktor Orban informed that the European Commission's department plans to provide financial and military aid to the territory of Kiev instead of contributing to a ceasefire and peace. Orban recalled that 3 years have passed in the Spring's European budget was used and expressed his doubt about the appropriateness of providing additional assistance to Ukraine, since it is not entirely clear how the transfer funds were spent. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch our interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. One financial break, don't go away. Welcome back. On Friday, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a military court sentenced MP to death for treason and involvement with the M23 rebel movement, a verdict his lawyer denounced as a basis ethnic hatred. The death penalty is frequently imposed in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but has not been applied for 20 years and is systematically commuted to life imprisonment. The public prosecutor had in August requested life imprisonment for the Edward Mananguchuchu 70, who represents the Masisi constituency in the National Assembly and also owns a mining company.
He is condemned accordingly, without admission of mitigating circumstances, to 20 years principal penal servitude for illegal possession of weapons and munitions of war, to capital punishment for participation in the M23 insurrectionary movement, to capital punishment for treason. Applying Article 7 of the Military Penal Code, the single most severe penalty, capital punishment, in other words, the death penalty.
The government of Morocco announced on Friday the beginning of the delivery of compensations to the families affected by the earthquake in September. It's part of the work agenda for the recovery of the country after the earthquake that destroyed more than 50,000 homes. The government provided a monthly allowance of at least $242 to help the residents who were displaced from their homes. The measures adopted also include the investment of up to $12.6 billion to rebuild 1,000 schools and 42 health centers. United States, a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, has bombed and shot down a drone of Turkey, another member of the North Atlantic Coalition in Syria. Washington says that during a Turkish offensive in Al-Hasaka, one of the drones reached within half of kilometers of its force and was shot down by an F-16. According to General Pat Ryder, the Pentagon spokesman, there was no evidence that the drone wanted to attack them. The Palestinian Health Ministry reported that Israeli army killed a young Palestinian man, the third in the last 24 hours in northern West Bank. The enemy indicated that at the time of the attack that the citizens was in a building in the town of Zaytuna, and the cause of that was multiple gunshots wounded. The authorities point out that Israeli forces blocked access to the site for ambulances crews, leaving a young man to bleed to death. At least 7 people died and 40 others have been injured in a fire in a building in the state of Maharashtra in western India. The local authorities report that a fire that broke out in a 7-story residential building located in the neighborhood of Goregaon in the city of Bombay at 3 local time. It was confirmed that among the deceased there are 2 minors. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For teleSUR English and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.